crochet tutorial. So it's been a while, but I'm back. I actually waited for the temperatures to become a little bit warmer because I'm so tired of making always like winter clothes. So I think from now I'm mainly going to make, when it comes to clothes, mainly spring summer clothes. Let's talk about this little piece here that I just recently made. I don't know how I will call it yet. Maybe flower top. This is probably one of the easiest the design itself is like, it's not super easy, but it's, if you're a beginner, you'll be able to learn it, so that's no problem. And then when it comes to putting together the pieces so that it can be a final like product, it's very easy and super straightforward, and I think the easiest thing that I made so far. So basically it's made of like 2 squares, which is the front square and the back square, then the 2 sleeves. And what I did is, and that's what I'm going to explain in the tutorial as well, is I made the 2 squares first, so the front and the back side, and then I just, you can see here, I combined it here, here, and on top. You can see until where I combined it here. I made sure it's gonna be very open because I want it to be like very like open, and you know, it's gonna be for summer. There is the possibility to have a vest as well. So basically, if you don't want to make the sleeves, just combine these 2 parts and then you're good. If you want to add the sleeves, I added the sleeves at the end because I crocheted it from right here. I crocheted it, so I attached, once I've done the vest, I attached the yarn and I started making the sleeves. And so basically that's why it's everything together. But there's also the option to make the sleeves separately, so it's gonna be a long, 2 long rectangles that you're going to then attach to the vest. That's actually already it. So very simple how to form it into a complete shirt. I mean, you can decide if you're gonna leave the leftover yarns or if you're gonna weave them in. I like it this way. Maybe I'm gonna change it later. That's actually it for the intro. Maybe I'm gonna put some of my explanations again into the tutorial, during the tutorial, but that's basically it. Another thing that I would like to mention, it's open to any different size that you want to do. So I'm not going to show you in the tutorial how to make the full rectangle, but I'm rather going to show you only how to make a single piece. Here you can see the piece that I made for the tutorial. It's 1 part only, and this repeated itself like throughout the whole pattern. One thing that I wanted to mention, when you want to make a different size, I'm gonna share the size that I've made, and you can see here it's very fitted because I liked it this way. Also my arms are pretty long, so I wanted to have it like this. You can see it's rather cropped. Make sure when you make it bigger, in order to just keep it easy, is that you're going to always increase, if you make it bigger, always 1 full, I call this flower. So you're gonna increase by 1 full flower, which are 14 stitches. In case you wanna make it slightly bigger, add 14 stitches. In case you wanna make it smaller, make less, make minus than the amount, than the size that I did, that you always finish up with a full flower or a full square like this, because otherwise it's gonna be a little bit difficult to make, you know, like the border when it's like in the middle. Yeah, that was it for the intro, and now I'm gonna wish you a lot of fun crocheting with me. Well, first of all, let me go and show you how to make this design here. As you can see, we have this panel here, which I call like flower, and then I have it like, we have different rows. So you can see the panel of the flower consists of 3 rows, and then there's a row of just mesh stitch, I would say, like double crochet, chain one, skip one, chain, and then again double crochet. So this is like the typical mesh stitch that you will see on other like mesh designs. And then here we have then an alternating design, which will be after the mesh stitch, like row of mesh stitches. We will start over again doing the same thing that we did in the previous 3 rows where we had this flower design, but we're going to alternate it so that it will look like this. Let me show you on a simple and shorter version how I'm going to make it, and then I'm going to show you how much you will need to do in order to make my size, and then all the other explanations for different sizes you will find in the written pattern that you can download on my website or on Ko-fi. We're gonna start by making chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can see we're going to make chains according to how wide our shirt will be from this part here until this part here, so that we have 2 flowers, and then here the alternating in the like future rows. And but as you can see, I made it wider, so just keep that in mind when I'm showing you or when you're crocheting along. So for these, let's say 3 panels, like I will call this a panel as well. Where do we have it? I will call this one panel where we have a flower, and also this one panel where there's like no flower. So 3 panels. I will need 45 double crochets, so I need to chain 45 chains first. So I made 5, so 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and continue until I will reach 45 stitches. Make sure if you are going to directly make your size, then check how many stitches you will need. I've chained 45 chains, and in order that when we're turning the row now we will have exactly 45 double crochets, we need to keep in mind this is the 45th. So we chain 2, 1, 2. We're going to enter, we're gonna yarn over first, and then we're going to put our hook into the 44th chain, so that this is like the 45th and the 44th already. And now we need to chain 43, make 43 more double crochets in each chain. Let's make 1 double crochet. So we're yarning over, insert the hook into the chain, yarn over, pull through, like take the yarn, pull through. We have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and then yarn over again and pull through the next 2 loops on the hook. So we have now 1, 2, 3, 4 double crochets, and we need to make 41 more double crochets, or depending on how large your shirt will be, make the amount of double crochets that you will need. Now made exactly 45 double crochets, and now we're going to make the second row. So we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to chain 1 more, so actually it's 4, because we're going to turn our work. We're going to skip 1. We're going to make this mesh stitch, right? So we're going to skip 1 chain, like 1 stitch, and then we're going to make the double crochet into the next one, like this. So we chain 1, skip 1 stitch, and make a double crochet into the next one. And we're going to continue doing this until we reach the end of the row. So always chain 1, skip 1 stitch, and make a double crochet into the next one. So you're gonna do this until you reach the end of the row, and then I'm gonna show you how to continue. I finished making the mesh stitch row, and as you can see here, I finished exactly with 1 double crochet here into the stitch here, into the last stitch. And now we're going to start making our, like the rose with the flower pattern, as you can see here. Since I'm going to show you this part here first, I'm going to start with a flower, then another panel, like a transition panel I would call it, and then another flower. The ideal thing is that we will start off by making this part here. So 1, 2, 3, 4 chains, turn, and then make 1 double crochet into the double crochet from the previous row. So we're also going to skip 1 stitch here as well. And next we are going to chain 5. So make 5 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we're going to skip 5, or let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitches we're going to skip, but as you can see here, we are skipping like 2 double crochets, and we're going to make a triple crochet cluster stitch into the 3rd double crochet here. So we're going to yarn over twice, insert the hook into the stitch, yarn over, take the loop, take the yarn, pull it through. Then we have here 4 loops on the hook. Then we're going to yarn over, pull through the hook, pull through the first 2 loops on the hook, so like this. Then we're going to yarn over again. Here we have 3 loops on the hook now, so we're going to pull, yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops on the hook. We have now 2 loops on the hook. We're not going to finish off the triple crochet, but we're going to yarn over twice again, insert the hook into the same stitch, take the yarn, pull it through. We have now 5 loops on the hook. We're gonna yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over, pull through the next 2. We have 3 loops on the hook. We're not gonna finish again. We're gonna do the same thing one more time. Yarn over twice, insert the hook into the same stitch, yarn over, take the yarn, pull through. We have now 6 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over, pull through the next 2. And now we have 4 loops on the hook. As soon as you have 4 loops on the hook, you're gonna yarn over and pull through all 4 loops on the hook, like this. This is our cluster stitch. And now we're going to chain 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're gonna skip 5 stitches. So we're gonna skip these 2 double crochets here and make a double crochet into this one here. So it looks like this right now. Then we're going to chain 1, yarn over and make a double crochet into the next double crochet from the previous row. So we're going to skip 1 stitch. And now we are going to make 12 more double crochets. So including this one that we already did, it's gonna be 13 in total. And we're not going to skip any stitches. So we're going to yarn over, make the double crochet into this chain space here. So you're gonna insert the hook into the chain space, yarn over, pull through, and then make the double crochet. The next one, simple double crochet into the stitch, and continue like this until you have a total of 13 double crochets. We now did a total of 13 double crochets, and now we're gonna repeat the same thing as we did here for the flower. So first we need to do 1 mesh stitch. So we're gonna chain 1 first, make a double crochet into this here. So the double crochet from the previous row. This means we're going to skip 1 stitch, and then we're going to make 5 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. and then the triple crochet cluster stitch. So I'm going to show it very slowly so you can follow along. Yarn over twice, insert the hook. So we're going to skip again 5 stitches, insert the hook into the 6th stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops, keep those 2 loops on the hook, yarn over twice, insert the hook into the same stitch, take the yarn, pull it through, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops on the hook, keep the 3 loops on the hook, yarn over twice, insert again into the same stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops on the hook. We have 4 loops on the hook, and then it's when we're going to yarn over and pull through all 4 loops on the hook. Oh my god, so, like this. And now we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yarn over, make a double crochet in here, and now to finish off, chain 1, yarn over, make 1 double crochet. The last one I always do into the chain space. It's actually a double crochet into the last stitch. So we're now finished with the 3rd row, which is the first row of our flower panels. And as you can see here, it's ideal, no matter what size you do, that you're gonna start off with, like here, 1 mesh stitch, like double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, then the flower panel, then depending on how wide your shirt will be, you make a sequence of flower, this here transition I would call it, and then flower transition, flower transition, until you reach your desired length. And I preferred to always finish with 1 flower, so flower, but you can also finish with a transition, it doesn't really matter. I finish with 1 flower panel, and then I make sure when I calculate how long I want my shirt to be, that the last is also always 1 double crochet, chain 1 and double crochet. So it's always this part here that you will see at the end. Now let's continue with the 4th row. So we're gonna chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, turn our row, make a double crochet into the double crochet from the previous row. So we're going to skip 1 stitch. And now we have the second part of the flower stitch. We're going to here again chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we're going to make a single crochet into this chain space here. So not into the middle, make sure it's very close to the cluster stitch from the previous row. So take the yarn and make a single crochet. Then we're going to make a single crochet into the stitch here on top of the cluster, and then 1 more single crochet right here into the chain space. Also make sure that it's close to the cluster from the previous row. You can always also move them a little bit more close together, and then we're going to make again 5 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to make a double crochet here exactly where we have a double crochet in the previous row. We're going to chain 1 again, skip 1 stitch, and make those 13 double crochets that we did in the previous row. So exactly 13 as we did before. So 1, I now did a total of 13 double crochets, so I'm going to chain 1, skip 1 stitch, and make a double crochet here. So as you can see, we have again the same concept as before, like in the previous row, like this. And now we need to make our second flower. So we're going to do exactly the same thing. We're going to chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make 1 single crochet right here into the chain space, 1 single crochet into the stitch on top of the cluster, and 1 more single crochet into the next chain space, always close to the cluster. We're going to chain 5 again, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to finish off, or depending on how long you're making your shirt, you're going to continue. And here I am going to finish off with 1 double crochet, chain 1, and 1 more double crochet here at the end. So if you want to do the double crochet into the chain, you can just insert the hook into 1 loop, but for me it's easier to just enter it into the chain space. We are finished with our 4th row, and now we're going to continue with the 5th row. So chain 4 again, 1, 2, 3, 4, turn your work, yarn over, skip 1 stitch, and make the double crochet. So we have this here, as we did exactly the same thing as in the previous row, and now we're gonna finish the flower, and we're actually going to do the same thing as we did in the 3rd row, not in the 4th row, in the 3rd row. So we're going to chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're gonna make a cluster stitch, triple crochet cluster stitch, so yarn over twice. Insert the hook. We have here in the previous row we have 3 single crochet, right? So we're going to insert the hook into the middle one, so in the 2nd, and then just keep doing the same thing as we did in the previous cluster stitch. Always yarning over twice, pull through always 2 loops, and then when you have 4 loops on the hook, you're going to pull through all 4 loops. Chain 5 again, 4, 5, and then we're going to make again a double crochet, chain 1, skip 1 stitch, double crochet, and 13 double crochets. So 1, 2, I did 13 double crochets. We're going to chain 1, skip 1 stitch, and make 1 more double crochet right here. So it looks like this right now, and now we're going to repeat the same thing again. We're going to chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, make a triple crochet cluster stitch here into the 2nd single crochet from the previous row. So yarn over twice, insert the hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops. We have 2 loops on the hook, yarn over twice, and so on. So, and now we're going to chain 5 again. 3, 4, 5, and now we're gonna finish off with double crochet, chain 1, and 1 more double crochet here at the end. And now we finished making our first 2 flowers. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, turn, yarn over, skip 1 stitch, and now we're going to make 1 row of mesh stitch, as same as we did here. So we're going to chain 1 again, yarn over, insert the hook just into the chain space, make a double crochet, make 1 chain, yarn over, make another double crochet into the same chain space here, chain 1, and then we're going to make 1 double crochet right in top of the cluster stitch from the previous row, chain 1. Now we're going to make again the double crochet into the next chain space. So 1 double crochet, chain 1, and 1 more double crochet into the same chain space, chain 1, and now double crochet here into the top of the previous double crochet, chain 1 again, double crochet into the next chain, into the next stitch. So skip 1 stitch, double crochet. Then again here we're just going to double crochet, like chain 1, skip 1 stitch, double crochet into the next stitch, yarn, chain 1, skip 1 stitch, double crochet into the next stitch. So we're going to continue this until we reach the other part where we have the flower stitch, or the flower panel in the previous row. So basically I almost reached that part, so I'm going to show you immediately. So here we're going to chain 1, and again the same thing, we're going to make 2 double crochet into the same chain space by always making 1 chain in between. So 1, chain 1, the next one into the same chain space, chain 1, then 1 double crochet into the top of the previous, like into the cluster from the previous row. Now again chain 1 always in between, 2 double crochets, like 1 double crochet into the chain space, chain 1, 1 more double crochet into the same chain space, chain 1 again, and now here we have this double crochet here, chain 1, and now our last double crochet of the row. Now we are done with our row of like mesh stitches. We're going to do that after each time we finished 1 row of like our 3 rows to make the the flower. So now we're going to alternate the design. So basically nothing exciting actually, it's just that we're going to switch up the design that we're going to make. So basically we're going to always chain 4 first, turn our row, turn our work, skip 1 stitch, make the double crochet into the next stitch, and here I already chained 1, but we're not gonna do that because now we're going to make a total of 13 double crochets. So I already made 1, so 1 double crochet into the chain space, exactly the same thing as we did here in the first row of our flower pattern. So basically it's the third row, just a different sequence. So you're going to continue making this until you have a total of 13 double crochets. I did a total of 13 double crochets. Here we're gonna chain 1, skip 1 stitch, make 1 double crochet, and then we're gonna start with our flower pattern. So we're gonna chain 5, skip 5 stitches, and make our triple crochet cluster stitch into the 6th stitch, and then again 5 chains, skip 5 stitches, insert the hook here and make a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, skip 1 and double crochet into the next stitch, and here 11 more double crochets, same thing as we did right before. So 1 double crochet into the chain space and 1 into the stitch. And as soon as you did a total of 13 double crochets, you're gonna chain 1, skip 1 stitch, and make the last double crochet of the row. And like this we did our first row of, again, another flower. And now we're going to repeat the same thing as we did here. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, row 4 and 5. We're gonna continue repeat, just, you know, like alternating the sequence. And then you're just going to continue over and over again, always. As soon as you finished one panel of flowers, you're going to make one row of mesh stitch, which is this one here, and then again make 3 rows to make another flower. So you can see here I continued making the next 3 rows. So here I finished off with another row of mesh stitches, and then we're going to start over again, exactly making exactly these 3 rows here, like row 3, 4, 5. We're going to make exactly the same thing here, and then repeat, make one more row of mesh stitches, and then repeat this row here. So it's always going to be an alternation between these two. And about the length of the shirt, let me show you one more time my shirt here. And as you can see here, like my shirt is size small, and as you can see here I started the same way, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 clusters. So 7 clusters. And then how many panels? Like, I would call this one panel. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 panels. And I finished here with the mesh, with the row of mesh stitches. So this is a crop top. Okay, so basically if you want to have a crop top as well, it's 8 panels, and the exact amount of stitches, number of rows and everything you will see in the written pattern, and then also the amount of add-ins that you need to make if you want to make it larger or like a size bigger, or you just want to make it oversized. It doesn't matter. So you will see everything in the written pattern. You're gonna make one, and then you're going to make exactly the same thing again, and then you're going to combine the front and the back part, as you can see here, and by leaving out the color space. And I must say this is the easiest way of making a shirt that I've did so far, because otherwise I tried always to make some like some crazy stuff, but here I just took the hook and I made single crochets, and here, as you can see here, the width of the amount, like for the shoulder, but I made, as you can see, a very large collar part. So I only combined here, as you can see, from this part here, from the end until the end of one panel. You can see here's this one panel, then here's still this one mesh stitch, and until here I combined. Then I left everything open. What I did, instead of cutting off the yarn, I just kept doing single crochets along one side, and then I continued here. Again, same thing, the last panel here where the first mesh stitch from the last panel starts, I made here, I combined here. And then for the sleeves, I think it's best if you first also combine the sides. So I decided to make the sleeves very like thin, like not oversized, so exactly matching my arm size. So that's why I chose to use 1, 2, 3 panels. And so basically here, this panel here, one flower, one more panel here, I did this wide. So you need to check, in order to see if you want to make it very fitting, you need to check how big your arms are. so that's not going to be too tight. And then you're going to choose how long you will do the how long you will combine here. So basically same thing as I did here, I combined with just single crochet, and I made sure just to make it the same wide here as well as here. Now I'm going to show you how I made the sleeves, because here, since I chose the white first and after I had to check how to match the design in order to make like the white that I was looking for, I was not able to make it exactly as I made here. So basically what I did is I just I skipped the part, like you can see the mesh stitch that I always have between one transition and one flower. There's always this mesh stitch, like one double crochet, skip one stitch, and then the next panel. And what I had to do in order like to add up the whole thing is to leave out that part. So basically what I did is, you can see here, there's one panel, then immediately the double crochets, which are exactly 13. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13. So no double crochet, chain one, skip one stitch, double crochet, and then make the total of 13, but immediately make 13 double crochets and then again a flower. I kept doing between each panel, there's always the mesh, like the row of mesh stitches, but other than that it's like this. I think it's very straightforward. Otherwise you can just check out the written pattern, but I think you can understand exactly what I meant here. And since I directly crochet from here, I was crocheting in rounds, so I always turned my work. So after I finished one round, and here I finished with one row of mesh stitches, then one row of just double crochet, and that's how I then finished off the arms. And as for the length, I have very long arms, so just make sure of that, to like take in mind that, and maybe make 1 or 2 panels less. So I did 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 panels for the arms, and that's actually it.